The last and final Saturday is upon us at this time. Thank you so very much for joining us. My name is Pavard and you're watching live Hotspot Network. It is the longest running sports show on Nigerian television, and it's the last Saturday in July. Boy, oh boy, are we thankful to have you join us from the first Saturday up onto this very last Saturday in the month of July, loaded with a lot of sporting activity. And today is definitely not going to be any different, because we'll be talking about boxing, basketball, and even Formula One. And of course, the ever-evolving NFF stagger is still very much on. We'll go for a quick break, and that break will be the match between Nigeria and Mauritania. Go nowhere not, because this is Hotspot. We'll be right back.
Nigeria 5 in their lead, and on aggregates, Nigeria 6, Mauritania 1.
But that one there was the Flying Eagles of Nigeria defeating Mauritania 6-1 on aggregate. That really wasn't the case, because, Sean, we saw the state of the pitch, but on one side it was bad, but the other side we saw the players, regardless of that state, wanting to play football. It's not as if you are celebrating something bad, but you really got to give it to these boys. Well,
the pitch conditions were way below par, but I think I'll give
Why do I think you are being nice?
Well, I'm Nigerian, so I'm not supposed to cast my country in the bad light.
Absolutely.
Like I said, the pitch was way below par, below par. But the boys, kudos to them. They came out, gave it their all, despite the conditions on that day, which was terrible. And they were able to triumph 5-0. They had 1-0 away and make it 6-1 aggregate. The good thing about it, especially, is the way these guys are evolving. You know, by the time, you know, we push on to the next World Cup or like the next African Nations Cup,
absolutely,
I won't be surprised if 1 or 2 of them are included in the team.
Definitely. That's what the conveyor belt is all about. That's why the under-20, under-23 tournaments are absolutely important. Well, speaking of importance, the goals scored in the World Cup are absolutely important, and FIFA asked everyone to go out there and vote for the very best goal in the tournament. Unfortunately, we all were rooting for Ahmed Musa, definitely, you know, but unfortunately, that goal from Pavard took it.
It was amazing, though. I don't know why every France question keeps coming to me. That's why I got this jacket.
Absolutely, blue.
Last Saturday of the month, I got my blue jacket.
Absolutely.
But Pavard's goal was well taken. It was an amazing, goal. Musa's goal was nice, but I think if we want to be honest about it, we know Pavard's goal was very beautiful.
The thing about the goal, Sean, is the way it was unexpected. The technique, the angle, the inclination, the way he bent his body. If you try it over 100 times again, you may not get it.
You probably might not get it, because it shows the technicality of the particular player. On a normal day, the ball was like spinning, it was coming, then he had, how am I put it? He had the intelligence to twist it back.
Slam the ball right back.
And it was beautifully taken.
It is. I mean, that you can see that goal right there. Well-deserved goal of the tournament. And remember that Pavard, the French man, happened to be the first European to win this award since its creation in 2006. The previous winners were Maxi Rodriguez of Argentina in 2006, Diego Forlan, of course, of Uruguay, and James Rodriguez with that beautiful goal, of course, in the 2014 World Cup. Well, I quit is a word that a lot of people are used to these days. But what happened when that words come from one of the finest players to ever don a jersey in recent memories? Step forward, Mesut Ozil. Let's start with you. Were you seeing this particular "I quit" statement coming from Ozil anytime soon?
I think I wasn't shocked though about the statement, because Ozil's body language before the World Cup did a lot, because the picture with the president of Turkey caused a lot of controversy. You could understand, but there were two Germans and one Turkish in the picture. You saw Gundogan release the statement after the issue, but Ozil never said anything. Then he went to the World Cup, so I'm really not shocked about it. But I think the German media escalated the issue a lot. But then it has happened. It has happened. So Ozil is going to. It's good news for some Arsenal fans though, because Arsenal fans are really happy. They have Ozil with them, so
permanently.
Permanently.
So maybe they win the Champions League next season. Sean, what angle we have to look at this from is a little bit of angle of racism, because Ozil in his statement came out to say that when things go well, he is German. When it doesn't go well, is German, Turkish. And this, as other players has also come out to lend him his voice as well, as claiming the same thing. But FIFA tweeted the support for Ozil, but didn't mention anything about racism in that tweet.
Well, racism is a very sensitive topic. Most people try to shy away from it. Now we are seeing a trend here, from immigrants who plays for their home for their host country, whereby when they win or where they are doing well, they'll be termed as our boy. And if anything gets happen to them, they'll be so and so.
Our boy from somewhere.
From somewhere descent. We've seen it happen to Lukaku. We've seen it happen to Anthony Joshua and so many others like that. And talking about Mesut Ozil, I think DFB had a huge part to play. They didn't come out to support him. They blamed the whole World Cup debacle on him, which was really, really quite unfair.
It is.
One player out of 23, no way. I don't think that's fair enough.
Okay, well said, Sean. Let's talk about the NFF crisis now. This is a serious issue, Sean. The return of Amaju Pinnick. We saw DSS ejecting the Giwa-led administration right there. We had a feeling that it's a part or so. Who knows who can do what, who can draw and pull more attention. And it looks as if this right here is another call that would really not go well with Giwa again.
Well, you're right. It's actually a part also. But I doff my hat for the presidency, who has taken the initiative to do the needful, which the sports minister had failed to do. Now, it's as simple as ABC. Like I said last week, FIFA rules supersedes anything else. It's in the article of association. So I think what the president or what the presidency just decided to do was that, okay, sports minister Chris Giwa, you guys do not put us in trouble. You shouldn't put us in trouble. This is what FIFA rule says. If you are not going to enforce it, we have the mandate to enforce it, which I think was what they did by putting Chris Giwa out and asking Amaju Pinnick and his guys to come in. And I think that's a good move for football in general.
We'd like to see how this pan out going forward. But let's talk about what happened last week. Sean did mention that he mentioned some things. Now let's see what you mentioned via your text messages on your screen at this time. We thank you very much for your very, very lucid thoughts coming in every time over the week. So I take this very first message from Lawrence Ekoro from Calabar. He said, "Good morning, presenter." Of course, my name is Babajide Guerrero Lawrence, okay? And happy weekend. Happy weekend to you too. Please, I beg you, in the name of God, to step down from NFF for Nigeria, not to be sanctioned by FIFA. That's Lawrence saying that as well. I totally agree with, the NFF is in great problem. The Giwa are fighting for their, sorry, I take that again. The Giwas, he said, that means Giwa-led administration, are fighting for their own selfishness, not Nigerians. This is from Mohammed from Zaria. To me, the crisis is good for our football. We must be forced to do the right things during future NFF election, and for the sponsors, let them go because the contract is reciprocal. God willing, we will get another sponsor. From Coach Ibrahim Hamad from Kano. Well, that's a thought right there from the viewers all over Nigeria. So do well to please join this train of people that have gotten their message read. All you need to do is just to send a text message on the number on your screen, and remember to follow, like, and comment on our social media handles at Hotsports NG across board. Now, to the crux of today's conversation. Let's take a look at this video.
This is the chief coach of the Nigerian national football team, Salisu Yusuf, taking a handful of cash. This secret recording was captured by undercover reporters in September 2017.
This is $1,000.
The video was handed to BBC Africa Eye by Ghanaian journalist Anas Aremayao Anas and shows the coach of the Super Eagles, who is paid 3 million naira a month, taking the money after a conversation about player selection. Anas's reporters were pretending to be football agents. They wanted 2 Nigerian players who had previously played for their country to be picked for the then upcoming African Nations Championship. After Yusuf had taken money, they alluded to other financial incentives.
So if everything goes through and those players are able to get the contract, you will get 15% off that contract.
The 2 players were eventually selected for Chan, but no further money was requested or given to Yusuf. There is no suggestion the money the coach took impacted his player selection. He told Anas's reporters team selection was based on performance alone. In a statement issued to the BBC, Mr. Yusuf denied any wrongdoing and said he neither promised nor committed to selecting players for games. He says he never asked the undercover journalists for money. It was offered to him, and that the amount was $750, not the $1,000 Anas claims. He also stated he believes the money falls within the gifts the FIFA code allows for, viewing it as of trivial and symbolic value and not as an inducement to play the 2 players represented by the 2 agents. He did not consider the rule against cash gifts to apply under these circumstances. He says his influence over player selection was never affected and he was not in breach of FIFA or NFF ethics codes. Salisu Yusuf's career was previously untainted. What will Anas's video mean for the future of Nigeria's top coach?
Follow Hotsports on social media. We are at Hotsports NG on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
Well, you've seen the video from the BBC. Now, the question of the day is, to go or not? Should NFF sack coach Salisu Yusuf for his indiscretion in receiving monetary inducements from players' agent? That's the question on our burner this Saturday morning. I leave the gentlemen for their thesis statement. I go with Ayino first.
So it's a shocking video, and I think there's no 2 ways about it. He should go. He should go for this.
That's the thesis right there from Ayino. Sean?
I believe we shouldn't be in a haste to hang Coach Salisu Yusuf. This is someone that has given his all to the nation's football, and I believe there are many loopholes in the video, which in his claims, he has put forward in his claims.
That right there is a thesis statement by this gentleman. You know for a fact that you also can be part of this conversation. All you need to do is just to send SMS. Please do not call, send SMS. We'll go for a quick break. When we return, the argument ensues proper. You're welcome back to the show, and that right there is the topic on our burner. To go or not, should NFF sack coach Salisu Yusuf for his indiscretion in receiving monetary inducements from players' agent? And you know, you're up.
Why are we having this, sorry to say, why are we having this discussion? He has to go. There's no way about it, because like, you saw the video. Now, he came out with a statement saying that he collected $750, not $1,000, that it was a gift. Like, Why? How do you make such a statement? I want to know who is this guy's lawyers. I didn't want to know his lawyers because it doesn't. You watch the video and the part that I find amusing is the fact they said if anything goes through and the players are able to get their contracts, you get 15% of the contract. And he didn't say anything about it. And he's coming out to say he collected the gift. FIFA have their code of conduct. They tell you that you should not receive gifts when you have to influence things. And he collected that gift to influence the players playing.
Sean?
Well, I think first off...
Because he was nodding, so I
yeah,
want to
first off, we'll start from the video that you mentioned. Now, I need to ask, why did the video start from when they gave him money? All the discussion they had previous to that time, what did he say? What were they saying? What was said that brought about the money? Nothing was said. That's one. Hold on, please. That's one. Two, there was no point in the video when he asked for the money that, oh, okay, where's the money? That, oh, give me money. That is true. Now, three, you spoke about FIFA code of conduct, and you said you can receive gift of trivial value. Now, this is he said he collected $750.
Yeah.
That's a fraction of like 12% of his monthly salary. I don't think anybody will stoop so low to go for bribery.
Do not create a conflict of interest.
Where is the conflict? What I see here?
Allardyce issue in 2014. Do you remember Allardyce was actually vindicated at the end? But what happened first? He had to resign. See, this.
It's not about having to resign. No, you can take a hold on. You can take a break. You can take a break. Okay, for investigation to continue. What I see here is it reeks of entrapment. Hold on. It reeks of entrapment. Because if it's not entrapment, why didn't they show everything before then? That is one. Two, there was a point in the video he said selection is based on consistency and form.
You know, after the World Cup, FIFA officials got a gold wristwatch from the Brazil FA. And they told them to return the watch. That was after the World Cup. Now this was just, oh, thank you. You know, you guys.
Now what's the value of the gold wristwatch? What was the value? What was the value of the gold wristwatch?
I don't know. We can find out.
You know one thing. I'm a mantra of rules are rules. Now hold on, please. The rule says.
I was going to go there. Hold on. Let him land because he's always saying rules are rules. So let's hear him this time.
Now rules are rules. The rule says you can collect something that is of trivial value.
Okay.
Now what we are talking about is not even up to 15% of his monthly take home.
Okay. Hold
on, please. I'm not done. It's not even up to 15% of his take-home pay. Like I said, it's serious. It's pure entrapment.
No, Babajide, you remember the case of the Kenyan referee? You remember how much did he collect? $600, and he was banned for life.
These are two different. No, these are two different things. These are two. In the video, he agreed to influence the game. Now here, he agreed. I'm talking about the referee. He agreed to influence the game, but there was nothing like that here.
$600.
There was nothing like that here.
Okay, when he collected the cash, what did he say? See you in Chan. So he said that in the video.
Of course, they were in Chan. They were in Chan.
See you in Chan.
They were in Chan. Of course, I was going to see them in Chan.
Said you are going to get 50% of the.
Now that is another matter entirely. That is another matter entirely. You've seen the video. Now the video raises a whole lot of questions. He raises a whole lot of questions. Why in the video? Let them show us the video from the beginning. Let them. Okay.
I think we can call Anas. I think we have.
Yeah, Anas should do that. What actually happened? Did he promise them that it was
the beginning of the video?
We need to know. We need to know because the money we are talking about is investment to this person's value.
Babajide and my fellow viewers, now, this is a case of one simple thing: integrity.
But you said something earlier about integrity, and then Sean as well said something about the money offered to Salisu being a little fraction of his salary. So let's hold on, gentlemen. Let's take this thing one after the other. First, let's talk about integrity.
Okay.
The Ghana FA president, about the story about $45,000 thereabout, got bribed and then he resigned. FIFA banned him for 90 days because he's part of FIFA Council, but then he resigned. Sean, what are your thoughts about the current situation of Salisu Yusuf? Should he resign?
Well, truth be told, I think you can't be a jury in your own case. Of course, ethics practice advise that you step down, maybe leave of absence or what have you, so that they can go, investigation can go on, and you probably will not have any interference or any bearing on the case. Yes, you should step aside, not resign.
Okay,
you should step aside.
That's one. That's one.
Yeah.
And you know, my turn. And you know, okay, good. Integrity, good. So how do you explain a man who earns 3 million naira monthly taking a bribe of that's not even up to 15% of his salary.
Yeah, same. You explain that, then that's left to him to decide. That's where your integrity plays in, because that's what I was explaining to you. Sean has been mentioning what's the worth of the gift. Now, when we tell our viewers about FIFA code of ethics, you should not receive cash gift. That's why you see people give FIFA officials wristwatches.
There is nowhere in FIFA rules that says
can it come up now? Look at
exactly did
they
say
said,
that
okay,
you do not receive cash?
They said persons bound by this code may only offer or accept gifts. May only offer gifts. Now, what do you call gifts? When somebody is doing birthday, we all know what you buy for the
Of course, you do know there's something called cash gifts.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they put gifts.
A
Now,
gift is
now,
they say material gift, cash gift. That's why I said even the rules itself is ambiguous.
They tell you exclude any influence for the execution or omission of an act that is related to the official activities.
What did he? Even the BBC said that from what they could their investigation that the money had no bearing. The money had no bearing on the selection. Even the BBC said that it had no bearing on the selection. 750.
But how much did they say they gave him?
They said
so who has the proof? Okay, this is what against their word.
Is that what against their word?
I'm telling you. So
We've seen, guys, it gets hotter here on this particular set, especially when you're in the studio and you're with Sean. And Sean, who really has explained that, hey, Salisu could step aside, but definitely not sack or resign because he didn't do anything wrong. And, you know, he's saying no, integrity is at stake here. It doesn't really show that he had the integrity. He should have refused the money, finally. Gentlemen, your final words before I make the final whistle. I'll go with Sean first. I want you to lose steam a bit. Sean first.
No, because we can do this all
Sean
day.
first.
Well, like I said, I think we should not be in a haste. These things need to be critically looked at. And it raises so many questions. First things first, why was the video not shown from the beginning? Why did it start from when they gave him money? That was one. Two, when they mentioned he was going to get 15% of any, he did not say a word. Three, he explicitly said it in the video that player selection is based on consistency and form. If he had collected money for selection, and he would have said, "Oh,
Sorry,
okay, thank you for giving me the money. Oh, of course, don't worry, your guys will be selected."
Wait.
No, I hope you do know that this is your final statement.
Yeah, I know, but Sean keeps saying why the video starts from this place, but you see the evidence, and there's no two way about this thing. Is it that the NFF sacks him or he resigns? This is just the case of integrity, and I've been saying it. There's nothing about this case here. Because the video is showing everything you need to see. All he needed to do was, even when he was giving the cash, he would have just said, "Oh, you know what? Don't worry, thank you." But I've listened to what you have to say. If he had reported the case to NFF or FIFA, like I explained what the Belgian guy did in 2011, it's a very simple case, but he didn't report it.
I think I'll have to Watson. I don't think reporting $750.
He got $1,000, but he's claiming he got $750. Why do we have this?
Gentlemen, we are done. Okay, we are done. Okay, we are done. Wow, it's really hard to just hold on to these two, really, especially when a conversation like this is currently on the burner. But my, what an amazing deliberation these two men have given us. But definitely, your thoughts also will be appreciated via text message. Do well to send us text message on the number on your screen. When we return, my final whistle. Guys, you've heard the submission of the gentlemen, and I would go by the way of the FIFA Code of Ethics, of course, section 21, subsection 3, and it reads, persons bound by this code must refrain from any activity or behavior that might give rise to the appearance or suspicion of improper conduct as described in the foregoing sections or any attempt thereof. But the video we saw, I beg your pardon, kind of shows a little bit of suspicion as regards the attempt by Salisu. If it's true, if it's not, we do not know. This is what I will think. If at all Salisu wants to do the honorable thing, step down. Step aside, stand down for now, let an investigation take place, and if at all your name is indeed clear of any wrongdoing, come back. That, to me, is more glorious. But if at all it's wrong, I think it's best to honorably resign and absolutely step down before you get the boot by the NFF. All right, that's the thought right there on the final whistle of the topic this Saturday morning. But finally, before we leave the studio, we can tell you that Lewis Hamilton yet again is enjoying an amazing lead ahead of Sebastian Vettel, 17-point lead at this point. And this particular weekend, we'll see the race go to Hungary. We will not be there, but definitely, of course, www.hotsporttv.com is the place to be for every form of of news, details, and reviews, especially as sports is concerned. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Thank you very much, Sean. And, you know, guys, I think the next time I'm coming, I'll be bringing a boxing glove. Just so we're clear.
I have integrity.
Yeah.
I have integrity.
Great stuff right there. Guys, please do well to follow us on social media at Hotsports NG. And, of course, have for yourself a beautiful weekend. My name is Babajide Guerrero. Till I come your way again next week, Saturday, God bless Nigeria and God bless you.